Good afternoon, my turtle ducks. Just in time for tea. Please help yourself. I've got sugar and honey and cream or lemon, and we've got jam and butter for the tea cookies. Today, I want to start diving into appropriate dress and how to dress appropriately for any situation. The first thing we want to consider, regardless of event, is going to be our personal temperature regulation abilities and the temperature and climate of where we're going. If we are particularly cold-natured, it's a good idea to plan on wearing more layers and potentially bringing a coat or cloak if there is any risk of it dipping below our comfortable temperatures. This is especially true if the outside climate is much different than the space we may end up spending most of our outing in, such as a public building or someone's home. If you are especially hot-natured, plan to wear layers that easily allow for removal while remaining decent to the level required for propriety. One must not strip down to the trousers at a theater event. Next, it is important to take in both your expectations and the expectations of where you will be going. Do you expect to need to readily remove some article of clothing, such as a hat, coat, shoes, or gloves? In those cases, you would want to make sure all the items that need to be removed may easily do so. Equally, will you be expected to go for long stretches standing, walking, or carrying things? Make sure that your clothes can accommodate you. Shoes with good quality soles, natural fiber clothing that allows for good heat transfer, and clothes that are not too closely tailored as to impede movement. Then we look at presentation. How formally or informally do you need to present yourself? For many social situations, we can choose the level of formality, whatever makes us the most comfortable. However, certain situations will call for more standardized formalities. Business events, specialty events like weddings or showers, and novelty events like themed dinners and parties often require specific dress codes be followed. Before we proceed further, I want to address the language of clothes. Some words are often used to be derogatory and hurtful. They are used to shame people who have crossed some invisible line. Words like skimpy, slutty, ratty, and tacky are all utterly unhelpful and only used to shame and humiliate. I do not like them, and I will not use them to describe anyone ever. The strongest words I hope to use are inappropriate, and never in front of the person's peers where it may come across as shaming or humiliating. Let us all remember that if an aspect of another person's wardrobe cannot be fixed within 10 seconds, it is impolite to point it out. Now, let us continue on to the levels of formality from least formal to most. Relaxed. This level is suitable for bathing suits and other levels of undress or clothing that is tattered, torn, and stained. However, before removing clothing, even in a relaxed environment, it is always polite to ask others in attendance if they mind you stripping to a specific level. The exception to this is when it is part of the plan, such as stripping down to one's bathing suit at a pool or beach. Casual could easily be interchangeable with simply normal clothing. It is the lowest level I would consider appropriate to go out to a public space, such as a store or park. Clean, non-stained clothing that covers more than a bathing suit would go here. These clothes may be considered too delicate or not protective enough to work in. Work clothing is one step to the side from casual, in that fabrics are usually tougher and thicker, and while they are generally clean, they may be stained or torn. Work clothes should be the kind of clothing one might get very dirty or ruined without too much concern for the articles. While we never want to throw items away senselessly, if a pair of jeans is destroyed protecting your skin, it is a sacrifice well made. Stepping up, we have business casual. This will usually involve nicer pants, usually in the slack or suit pants style, or an A-line skirt at minimum knee length, and a button-up or collared shirt. Please remember that if you are prone to perspiring or live in an area with high humidity, you will probably want to wear an undershirt to prevent your business casual from turning relaxed. Business will be slightly more formal than business casual. While the pants do not change much, The skirts should be longer, and the shirts should be nicer blouses and button-ups only. You may be expected to wear a tie and/or vest and jacket. At this level, many shirts require cufflinks, which is an excellent place to let a little of your personal style and preference show through without being too ostentatious. Semi-formal. Now, a full suit is expected, though, depending on the environment, you may be permitted to go without a tie. For those dressing more feminine, cocktail dresses and sleek, not too showy evening gowns should be one's go-to. Boleros and capelets are excellent choices to keep one warm without upsetting the semi-formal aesthetic. Finally, we have formal. Expect to wear a full suit with tie or tuxedo. You may also be expected to wear a hat, though it is less common now. For dresses, this may vary a bit based on the event, but expect to wear a dress no shorter than one's ankles. Full coats, capes, and large fur or faux fur shawls are an excellent warm accessory. Gloves are highly encouraged. While your shoes do not need to be heels, here more than ever they do need to match the rest of your outfit's aesthetic. Hats are also most permissible here, particularly hats with veils. Well, I think I may have run a bit long. Please join me next time where we finish up our expectations of appropriate dress. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, be kind, my little turtle ducks, to others and to yourselves.